Welcome to another episode of the YTH Nation Podcast. We're starting it before the guest gets here today, because why not? You know what I mean?
Facts.
We got our boy Nate Diaz here. You already know.
Hey, I'm just here to serve, bro.
Honorary host at this point. I'm going to just shout out Elijah every time he's not here.
Yo, I love you, Elijah.
Love you, boy. Enjoy school. We need to work out a little bit better of a deal with Liberty University to let you off a little bit more to do the work of the Lord.
We might have to make that call. He's got work to do. He's doing his father's business.
Yeah, he is. So anyway, we're in Indiana right now. Indianapolis, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Indianapolis.
Home of the Indy 500.
Yep. I've never been here before, so it's cool, I guess.
I thought you were on the tour stop for E-Nights.
No.
Which,
Fort Wayne.
Go get your tickets for Elevation Nights.
Yeah. Summer bash happened.
Also, go register for YTH since we're plugging everything that we love so dearly.
What are you doing? YTH. It's going to be insane. It's going to be in Charlotte this year. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. If you're not registered, if you ever had a dream where if you're not registered, what are you doing? Go to the link in the description right now. Just scroll down a little bit. There'll be a little thing you can click. Very easy, very quick. It's going to be the best 3 nights, 4 days of your life. And we'll be there. So that's cool. And comment if you think we should do a live podcast at YTH.
That would be so fun to do a live podcast at YTH. That would actually be so fun.
I know. I was even kind of thinking like maybe not even during a session, but like maybe it's like an after party thing in like a smaller room or something.
She was
Goodness, man.
quick, easy turbulence, all the things. This is our space here, so you guys can pop on. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
What's up, bro?
What's going on, man?
What's up?
It's cold, bro. How are you? So nice to meet you, brother. Welcome. Oh, bro, are you kidding, man? Of course. What's going on, man? JT, so nice to meet you, bro.
Hey, what's up? Nice to meet you, Papa.
Nice little cheeky flight.
Dude, bro, it was like an hour or something. It was so chill.
So sweet you get to come to us.
Are you kidding me, bro? Wouldn't miss you. How do you feel, brother?
Good.
You feel good?
Yeah. We were talking because like the last 4 days, so we did Madison last night.
Okay.
Freezing.
Oh, God.
Day before that, Minneapolis, snowing. Day before that, we're in LA. It's like mid-70s.
Oh,
so
what
the weather's been funny. It's been great. You right here?
Yes, sir.
Go on, Papa.
Bro, I love this fit so much.
Oh,
dude.
thank you.
I love the Uggs, too. I recently started rocking Uggs, man. I feel like it's so cozy, right?
I love playing drums in them.
Really? Yeah. You got some good feel with them?
They're just like...
They're just comfy, yeah?
I'm so glad to see that they made a comeback because I remember in 2017, I was a junior in high school. And me and my friends all got the male Uggs when they dropped.
Oh, yeah.
We were getting cooked. we got absolutely cooked.
Yeah.
It was worth it, though.
Right.
Someone's got to blaze a trail.
Right, exactly.
We got these as a gift in Australia when we played.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had these for probably like 7 years. And we had a show in Hamburg, Germany. And I went out to like find a gym or something, and it just started pouring, and I just still have them, but they just washed around in the rain all day.
That's German rain on those boots, man.
They got some stories.
They got some stories, man.
Yes.
Well, I don't know how much you were briefed or whatever about it, but this is for Elevation Youth. So basically our next generation.
I'm a fan.
Yes, bro. Let's go. So, bro, thank you again for coming on. Seriously.
Absolutely. Thanks for
I know being on tour and everything can be crazy and probably get a little tired, but it means a lot to
it means a lot that you guys made the trip.
Oh, bro, of
Excited
course,
to chat.
man. I've always wanted to come to Indianapolis, man.
Oh, yeah.
Where's the Indy 500, Bubs?
Yeah, dude.
What are we getting into right now?
Well, it's my hometown. I can tell you everything.
Right.
It's actually her hometown, so as soon as we landed, I thought I was with the mayor.
Welcome home.
Welcome home. Welcome home.
Maybe that's where I got mixed up in my head.
But it's mad chill, bro. Like just super conversational, organic. Obviously we got some questions, but if you ever want to say anything or
it's a cool space.
This is actually a dope space.
It's awesome.
But yeah, we'll just get right into it, man. We already did a little intro before you got here, but
Beautiful.
dude, what I gotta ask before we get into anything important, where did the toothpick thing come from, man? And also, if you didn't have one, I came prepared just in case. I think me and Nate need to throw one in though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if I do this toothpick list, it just feels wrong.
Down, man.
Absolutely.
And I'm getting the Father's blessing.
Right.
There you go.
Cheers.
There's a cheers. Yeah. So where did this come from, man? It's such like a power move, I feel like.
You know, I was playing with some other artists in Nashville.
Okay.
And I remember I like toothpicks, and I like the tea tree cinnamon is my favorite.
Okay.
Right now.
I should have done
So you're into flavors.
Dang it.
I love the flavor.
I'm about to say, this is real woody.
It's so nice. Just a little cinnamon.
I feel like I'm
a
chewing
little
on
pop.
paper.
And I remember I was playing with it with an artist, and I felt like I was being too loud. I was like putting attention on me, like, but I'm supposed to be the background guy.
God.
I was like, huh. But then when we started the band, I was like, ooh, I want to play with the toothpick.
No.
And Paul loved it. And so I just love playing with the toothpick.
Now it's a thing.
It's fun. It's just like how Michael Jordan uses the tape.
Right.
Yeah,
I just like
That's
the
your
toothpick.
toothpick, man.
Yeah. It's like a part of the show.
This is the real. This is the real.
And yeah, if you got something in your teeth,
Right.
pick it.
You should start. You should
It's
start a
functional
social.
as
Oh
well.
yeah,
It's very functional as well.
so true.
But we messed up and we need to go with the cinnamon tea tree.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
because I
that
feel
would
like you
get a
got these
little-
at staples.
Bland.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Do
These
you
are
ever
fun.
have you ever thought about making an Instagram page just like your toothpicks in different places?
I haven't, but I have kind of thought about, my wife and I thought about like a little toothpick brand.
That's what
That'd be
when you said
sick.
that, I was like, dude, you need to come out with your own.
Oh, the marketing.
You heard it here first.
Thing.
Right. You heard it here first on the Youth Nation podcast.
I need to tell someone so I can be accountable for actually doing the thing.
Right.
Oh yeah.
We'll email you every now and again and just check
Yeah.
up on that.
I'll,
Hey,
I'll
bro,
send you
how's
loads
that
of flavors.
toothpick?
Please. Okay.
Loads of
Here's
flavors.
A question. Here's a question. We're just on this toothpick thing.
I love it.
What would be your first 3 flavors you'd roll out in the opening launch?
Such a good question because I love cinnamon so much.
Right. You can throw cinnamon in there. That's
Man, I
fine.
don't know.
Yeah.
Cinnamon. What are some other good ones?
You could. Are you a big coffee guy? You could almost go with like a roasted coffee.
You could do a little roasted
kind of
coffee.
dope with your morning.
Maybe a little hometown onyx.
Hometown onyx.
And then probably just Chili's queso. Just a little dinner. If I miss dinner before the show.
you missed dinner before the show.
Maybe grab the Spearmint Deluxe pack if you don't want to reek like Chili's queso.
Right.
Skillet Chili's
Spearmint
queso.
would be good. Chili's queso.
And Chili's.
Clip that.
That's a good
man.
3.
That is.
How
That's a
often do
good
you go to
3.
Chili's?
Haven't been in a second, but it's in my blood because how much I went when I grew up.
Really?
Paul and I have matching Chili's tattoos
That's
No
so funny.
because
Wait.
it shaped us.
It shaped us into the men we are today.
Yeah,
I feel like everything in Chili's tastes the same and it's all equally great.
it is
I
great.
could get behind that.
I can eat a chip, a quesadilla, and a salad. I'm getting the same flavor.
But honestly, what happened? Because we're yapping. What they used to do free chips and queso, and I don't think they do, or chips and salsa, and I don't think they do that anymore,
I don't know,
which is kind of a tragedy.
I bet they still got the bottomless mug.
You think
You just
so?
get
Wait,
like
what's
Dr.
that?
Pepper. Strawberry lemonade is pretty sneaky there.
Oh,
yeah, just free refills,
Free
essentially.
refills, yes, and the strawberry lemonade I've had.
Yeah, it
before.
came in like an iced glass.
Yes,
Ooh.
very good.
Take me back.
Did you just get
Fired up
chills?
talking about it right now.
I just got chills.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on tour right now. The Beautiful Blur, man. And first of all, what an insane album. Second of all, this
Thank you.
tour looks like a freaking movie, man. How has it been so far? It just looks amazing.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I think, don't know how many shows we have left, but this U.S. tour is 40 shows, so it's a big daddy.
That's a lot of
Holy
dates.
cow.
And it's been fun. We worked with a movie set designer for our stage plot.
No
This guy named
way.
Shane Valentino. And so he just brought a really fresh perspective to what we do because I don't think he's ever done a concert. So it was really fun for us, obviously, working with him. And then I think he had a lot of fun doing it as well. And doing that, and we worked with a new musical director, this guy, Tyler Fortney, who we just adore, and he brought a lot to the table. So bringing these studs that we could learn a ton from was pretty awesome. So this show's been super fun to play.
I can imagine that's really fun. And you guys are insane at what you do. And I feel like people would love to know the behind the scenes. What is it like collaborating with other people? I mean, you guys obviously have such a dope vision, but it sounds like you described there's a strength to like collaboration and to like what it looks like to work with other people. How does that look like for you guys?
Yes, we definitely love to learn, definitely students of it. And so any chance we can get around people that we admire and we think are way better than us at stuff, we just try to get in there and learn as much as we can and just get better as a band and as people. So we're always open to the collaboration process for sure.
It's dope.
Yeah, that's so good.
That's dope.
If you had to pick so far on the tour, what's been maybe like your favorite stop or one that stands out?
Let's see.
Well, you got a couple more shows to go to.
We do
You got
have a couple.
NYC still.
We do. That's gonna be fun.
Boston.
Where are you guys playing in New York?
We're playing Hammerstein.
That's sick.
Yeah, we're playing a few nights there, so that'll be so fun. It's always a party when we play Salt Lake City.
Really?
Yes.
Utah?
Yes.
No
There are some
way.
passionate fans right there.
Oh
So
my
that was like from the very beginning. We're like, what's going on in Salt Lake? They are awesome here,
Right.
And so we just played there, and they sing the loudest and dance the hardest and give your heart. So it's pretty awesome.
Way.
That's dope.
Yeah,
How is the city out there? Like, I've never been out there. Is it
You know-
cool or?
it is cool. I haven't explored too much, but there's like a coffee shop. We usually on tour, it's a little bit boring. Wake up, go find the best coffee shop,
Right.
and then play the show.
Right. That's pretty
And so
much
there's
it.
some good coffee shops in Salt Lake City, and good vintage shopping too.
Really? I could see that.
Yeah, and there's a spot in Provo. It's like a little, it's like 40-minute drive called Thrifted. They're just sweethearts, so I got to give them a shout out.
Give them a shout out.
So
Heck yeah.
yes,
Why do
Salt
those two
Lake
go
City.
hand in hand so well?
yeah,
If a city has good coffee, it usually has good thrifts
Ooh, I
Right.
like that.
and resale.
Right.
We have too much clothes. It's pretty bad.
Do you feel like you accumulate way more on tour as you go city to city?
Yeah,
Yeah. I
my
can
poor
see
wife. I'm sorry, Mariah. Yeah,
that. Hey, fits are always dope.
Hey, if you look
Like,
good,
for real.
no one's complaining.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly. All right, so you're about to wrap up the U.S. And one of our good friends is Trevor Roberts.
oh, Angel.
Right.
You remind me of Trevor a little bit.
Dude, I've been
Yeah.
getting that a lot.
Yeah.
recently,
And this
dude.
bit is
Especially
kind of
with-
Trev.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
stash.
The stash, the
Stash.
hair,
Yeah,
just ripped like Trevor.
He is.
He's the
he is
best.
actually jacked.
We love you, Trevor.
We
Love you,
love
Trev.
you, man. He was telling me that when y'all go to Asia, which you guys are about to,
Yeah.
just
Again?
announced, I think, like not too long ago,
Yeah, in the fall.
it's like shut down, like showtime. Where do you think that came from? Like, when did that happen? When?
Yeah, it's wild there. It's incredible. I think like when Paul and I we got a record deal, and like our goal is just to, like follow in the footsteps of U2 and Coldplay. And so
Heck yeah.
it's fun. We were signed with Universal for a while, and we would talk to their international team and talk about how U2 would tour and
Right.
just learn from them. And a lot of it is just the willingness to go everywhere. Paul and I were like, "Hey, send us everywhere. We know the world's huge, but we want to cover it."
Yeah.
And so I think they're able to get some shows out in Asia. And so we've just been going back, and especially in the Philippines is like an anomaly. But I think
Dang.
one time we went and we played shows in malls is a big thing out there.
I didn't know
And
about
so we went out there and we did 2-a-days. We would do an afternoon show in a mall, pack up and go play at night. And we did that for 3 days. And when we did those shows were free. And I think because of that, because we went to them, played some free shows, I think they just rallied for us now.
Whoa.
They're like, "Thanks for coming. We're going to support you forever."
2-a-days.
That's
Yeah.
fire.
So got some good memories in Asia. Love playing there.
Holy cow. Yeah, but that's like,
It's a lot.
yeah, that's actually.
And you did
so-
3 of those.
Yeah, 3 days. So I think total of 6
like
shows.
6 shows.
I think. Yeah.
Holy
Wild.
cow.
And in Asia too, just everyone has the coolest style.
Oh,
I mean, I just
Japan,
walk
I
outside. I'm
can-
just so inspired.
yes,
Tokyo.
dude.
Seoul,
Some
South Korea. Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
yeah.
Streetwear is just elevated. Their fashion is just elevated.
They're the
Right.
coolest. Oh,
That's
yeah.
dope. I mean, you have some. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Do you have any like crazy fan stories from over there?
Oh man.
You probably have a lot.
Let's see here. It's just crazy. Like we have to have security and stuff in Manila, and it's just still funny to me. I'm like, I can just go there on myself. I'm good. Like, no, we got to be with you. I'm like, okay. But it's funny. Like you go down to breakfast or something at the hotel, and just I look hilarious, and there's just 100 people down there waiting for you. I'm like, oh gosh.
Oh my god.
So yeah, it's just a different thing out there. But we're really grateful that they like us.
Yeah,
that's
That's
insane.
insane, dude.
No, that is actually really special.
Do you have any like crazy stories from not even in Asia, just in general, of like crazy fan interaction or like people like tracking you down and like
people creepy to you guys?
Yeah, like
It happens a little bit, but nothing too crazy. One of the funniest things is after Mariah and I got married, we played in Denver, and I think Mariah was with us, and someone just gave us a waffle maker for getting married.
That's nice.
Sweet
for getting married.
little gift from marriage. I was like,
They just
Dude, that's so nice.
shot in the dark as to what you put on your registry.
Right.
let's go waffle maker.
Waffle maker, yeah, it's got to be on the registry.
Creative.
People are nuts though. One of my friends used to tour manage for BTS.
Oh, wow.
And so he was telling me, he was like, when it came down to security and all that, he was like, there was this family of like ridiculously wealthy people from Seoul, South Korea. And they just had so much money. They were able to follow BTS, and they would pay people for information.
Oh,
Like they would
my
pay
gosh.
hotels ridiculous amounts of money, and it'd be like the same like 7 girls that all belong to the same family, and they'd be like, hey, and they would be staying at the same hotels, all that stuff.
Crazy.
It's also, I feel like fans are different overseas. It feels like they're more dedicated to you.
Yeah, and you always heard, like, growing up, like bands like Pearl Jam and Chili Peppers, just hearing them talk about Latin America too. Like, we've always heard, like, go to Brazil, like, you're going to experience some serious kind of warmth and love, and it's very true.
Dang.
So we go there after US, we go to Latin America, so
Where are you guys doing in Latin
it's
America?
going to be fun. What's that?
Where are you guys going in Latin America?
We're going Brazil, Chile, Argentina, and then we'll go to Mexico after that.
Yeah, Mexico.
So,
Mexico in itself is a big.
love it.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Bro, that's so good, man.
What do you say your favorite? If you had to choose one, I mean, this is probably really tough, but if you had to say like your favorite or the most memorable show of all time for you,
Ooh, I think it was one early on. We were opening for this band Twin Shadow, and we played a lot of Canada on that tour.
Okay.
And it was crazy too because they had recently, before that tour, they had a bus crash, and which was like really scary to hear about. And so the routing of that tour is pretty much like we would play a show, and then the drivers would have to drive like a certain speed limit, and we do like 2 days off and then the next show. So it was like an interesting tour, and we played in Saskatoon. And I just remember for our set, there was one person in the crowd, and Paul was just like shirtless standing on my kick drum. We were playing like we were playing Madison Square Garden. And I just loved it because I was like, you learn what you're made of in those moments when there's like just no one there. It's like, how do you still want to play? Like, do you still have love of the game? And we for sure did. And that moment I was like, okay, we're going to do this forever, because even if there's just one, we're going to go so hard.
Dang.
Yeah.
That is so sick
fun.
and not what I was expecting at all, dude.
yeah,
I think that one
Holy
person
cow.
moved up like 5 feet, and we're like,
Yes.
Yeah.
We moved him. Dude, that is amazing.
that's a
I actually
standout
love
for
that.
sure.
Dang, that's so dope. So, Beautiful Blur album out. How was it writing this album? I feel like we got a little bit of a different vibe on this one.
Yeah, super fun. And Paul has we have a season where we kind of are home and write a lot. I'll pop into some sessions with him and write, but he writes with amazing writers out in LA. One of them was, we have a song called Alonica, which we did with Aiden King. I'm sure you guys know the legend Aiden. Hello.
Of course.
But yeah, it was fun. We worked with this guy, Mike Crossy, who produced one of our other records, Malibu Nights, and he's got a studio in LA. And so it's fun when we're just at one studio, because everything's just kind of set up. So you just go in there and cook, as they say.
Baby.
So it was fun. And he has an assistant named Steve that we love. And so, yeah, we just got in there and listened to a lot of music, talked a lot. A lot of it's like talking a whole lot before we kind of get into the process.
Yeah.
Like, what are we wanting to say and convey? And then we just start throwing stuff at the wall. And with this one, it was really fun too, because Paul read Bono's book during this period, Surrender.
Oh, dang.
And I feel like something shifted in Paul, which I really loved, like the way he would sing or write about stuff, because Bono's just iconic. And so I thought it was really fun that he did a deep dive in Bono in this era of our band. And so we just really studied why we love bands like U2 and Coldplay, moves they make. and then try to kind of channel that greatness into our songs. So it was a fun process.
Dang, dude. It's so
How'd you guys meet, you and Paul?
We met at the YMCA in Nashville at the gym.
No way.
He needed a spot, and so I was like, "Got you, dog." No, not really. But
I
was
bro,
like,
this
yo,
most
this is-
random thing.
we did meet at the YMCA. We knew of each other, and he was like, "Hey, you Jake?" I'm like, "Yeah, are you Paul?" And so from then we just became buds, and he would just come over to the house I lived at with some of my roommates, and we would just watch sports. I think we would watch The Bachelor, which now he's got a little podcast and he talks about the episodes, which is awesome.
No way.
Funny.
I wonder if he's fired up because it just ended. I wonder if
Oh, he's fired
he's
up.
fired up.
So yeah, it was fun. It just started as friends, as a friendship. And when we started the band, there was 3 of us, and the other guy was Les, who was my roommate. So he would come over and we would just hang, and Les had all these awesome beats that he had made on his computer. And Les is pretty quiet. And so we're like, Les, all your songs are incredible. You gotta get those out there. And so Les and I started a little side project for fun, but then Paul's like, what if I made some songs with you guys? And we're like, yes, please. And so that essentially became LANY.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
And now 10 years later, here we are.
Okay, I was about to ask how long ago that
Yeah.
was. Oh my god.
That's
Sounds
so
like 2014-ish.
Yeah. And I had known Paul probably 2 or 3 years before we really started LANY. So, and he had a stint where he lived in Kansas City for a period. And so I would see him out there. So the coolest thing is just the foundation is friendship of the band. So
Dang, that's
I feel like that's how things last, though, bro.
yeah.
It's got to be organic. It's got to be real. Has to mean something to you.
Yeah.
And even obviously, the love of music it'll keep you there for a long time. But then the love for the people you do it with,
Yeah.
is really
It's definitely the number one, the people part of it. And for Paul and I, just to always have that strong relationship and that friendship, keep the fire there. That's number one before the music, for sure.
For sure. I feel like on social media, like obviously we see you guys always together. But what is your relationship like with him? Like what does he mean to you?
Yeah, he's just one of my best friends. We have a song called Thick and Thin. I feel like we just both been there for each other through thick and thin.
Dang.
But yeah, I'm like early on in the band, and just for me to be there for him as like a lead singer experiencing all this was just fun.
Right.
That like I can be the guy standing next to him the whole time. And we just, he's just someone I learn a lot from, and I'm hoping that I can offer things to him as well in our friendship. So, we just stay close and we try to move through this journey as being in a band and it growing well and just maintaining that friendship. And so we belly laugh a lot and we have fun and we get really inspired when we make music and play music. But yeah, it's just cool because we just have the same goal too. We just want to take this band as far as we can and be the best band we can be and be the best band someone could work for, because we have an amazing crew and we want to love on them really well. So it's just like a really fun opportunity that he and I have together.
Dang.
It's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
That is so cool. And doing it for 10 years.
Yeah, crazy. We've had 5 records and crazy.
That's so
We talk about this a lot. In anything you do, anybody could be hot for a little bit, right? Especially in the age that we live in. But I think it's more admirable the people that can do it for a long time and do it well.
Yeah.
And like, you're married, you're a good husband, like you're such a chill guy. Like all that is significantly more important than sprinting for 2 years and then losing everything.
Yeah.
And losing yourself
Yeah.
in it,
Yeah, we love, like some of those bands we talk about, we just love bands with longevity and like study them, how they did it, how they've been doing it and still do it. Like Paul and I saw U2 at the Sphere. We like went on a field trip together,
insane.
and it's just like they're in their 60s and absolutely crushing it, and it's like we really admire that. Dang. And for me, when I lived in Nashville, I got to play with the band Jars of Clay. I was their drummer for like 6 years. That's who I played with before we started LANY.
No way.
And I can't thank those guys enough because I learned being on the road with them. It's like, all right, this is what a man looks like. These guys like love what they do. They love their families.
Wow.
Like the first flight home, last flight out kind of motto. I love that. Like they're just like, they'd finish the show, go to the hotel, wake up at 4 for the lobby call, get on a flight, just so they can see their families. Like I just learned so much from them about being a man. So I love those guys. Got to give them a shout out.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Beautiful. Yeah. So we're here. I want to backtrack all the way.
Yeah.
to like how you first got into music.
Yes.
What was that like?
Yes.
How old were you? Where? When?
It was a mix between a movie and youth group. So this movie called That Thing You Do. I don't know if you guys know it.
No.
I'm so young.
Never heard of it.
It's about a band, and I thought the band was awesome, and the drummer was so cool. And so I asked my parents for a drum set. This one was when I was 11.
Okay.
And my brother had just started. He's 3 years older, so he was at youth group, so I'd go hang with him sometimes. And I was like hanging out with my older brother. I thought it was so cool. And so I would go to youth group, and the youth group band was awesome. This guy, Zach, was the drummer. And so I loved Zach playing the drums. And then That Thing You Do came out, and I just asked my parents for a drum set, and they got me a drum set for my birthday. And I love it. They just immediately put me in lessons. And so this guy, Kevin Bonner, out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, shout out, was my drum teacher from the get-go. And so that's when I was 11. And I've just kind of been obsessed ever since.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Went straight to drums and then just
went to
stuck-
school for it in Nashville.
Really?
And then that's where Paul and I met in Nashville. And now we're in LA.
Where'd you go to school in Nash?
Belmont University.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. So studied drums out there, had some awesome teachers. My great aunt worked at Belmont in musical theater department.
Dang.
And she called my mom, was like, if Jake's really serious about drums, you guys should make a trip to Nashville and take some lessons from the teachers out here. And so in 8th grade, I started going every spring break and summer to Nashville. My mom would drive me from Arkansas. Wow. And there's this guy, Chester Thompson, that was an adjunct teacher out there, and he played with Phil Collins. He's just a legend.
Dang.
And
I'm
crazy. And so I got to take lessons with him since I was in 8th grade all the way up to college. Would go twice a year. And so I just kind of knew I wanted to be at Belmont and in Nashville, because Nashville, there's just loads of opportunities just to play around town.
Right.
After classes are over.
Yeah.
So
every night there's something going on live.
So it's like
you know what I mean?
a great learning curve being in Nashville, because you learn kind of different personalities, how to play with different people, different styles. So I loved my time in Nashville for sure.
Bro, that's so sick.
Yeah.
So staying back in the day, how did you come to the Lord? Like, what was your journey like to come to the Lord?
Grew up in church.
Okay.
And I just have awesome parents. My mom and dad are precious. And so, we just grew up going to church. And when I was 7 is when I was like, I asked my dad, I was like, hey, I think I love Jesus. Can I ask him into my life? And I remember we're like on our bunk beds with my brother. And then in there, just like, asked Jesus into my life. And that's when I was 7. And I've just always been drawn to Jesus and learning about him, and try that to be like my essence of my life. And it's been really fun navigating that. Navigating the world and different kind of people and different kind of churches. But I just had a really strong foundation with my parents. And I had, in youth group, I had a youth group leader that was an intern and that lived with our family.
Oh no!
This guy named Hutch, and he's one of the guys that just made me really fall in love with not just Jesus but church, and because he was just such a great leader. And he's like my second brother, because he lived with us, and I just love the way he led and loved the people there. Yeah. And now he's at a church in San Antonio, but he just like set a really strong foundation. And I just always had I can't believe that I get to do this for a living, and like the opportunities I've had. So it's like, how can I not thank the Lord every second? So, and I remember like Les and I, when we moved to LA from Nashville to move in with Paul, that was like a 3-day road trip. And that was just a lot of like talking with God and thanking him. And I was just like, I can't believe you're giving us this opportunity to give a shot as a band, see what happens. But I just want to honor you every day. And so I just like, I fell a lot, but it's like, I just try to have that mindset every day. It's like with gratitude and like just that learning about Jesus and the Bible and like who he is. I just try to bring that into our lives every day. And it's really fun as a band, because we, like with crew guys and girls, we have all sorts of personalities and backgrounds. And I learned so much from all of them. Like we have a guy that's like a staunch atheist, but I'm like, he's the most loyal person in the universe. And I'm like, dude, you have so much Jesus in you, you don't even know.
Dang.
But it's just funny, because like growing up in Bible Belt, you learn more like maybe keeping in a bubble, but then moving to LA and going to Mosaic and touring, it's like no bubble. It's just like we're people.
Wow.
And so just love people well, because I just feel like what Jesus did. So it's kind of what I'm after.
That's it, bro.
Dude,
Yeah.
that is amazing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Holy cow.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you on the road? Like, tour life is not easy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you can get used to it, right?
Mhm.
But it's still, the essence of it is like demanding of your time.
Totally.
Sometimes. So what does that look like for you? Like, do you have routines on the road? Like, how do you make time for that?
Yeah, definitely. I just try to fill my mind and body with good things. So it's like, because like in my early 20s, one of the trickiest things is like after a show, eating. Like early 20s, just eat whatever, do whatever. And now I'm like, that's not sustainable. That's not really working. So I just try to eat healthy. I try to exercise a lot. And then, just fill my mind with good things, whether it's like a podcast that's very thoughtful, reading the Bible, reading a book. I'm really bad at reading, but I read Unreasonable Hospitality. You guys heard about that book? Will Guidara. It's one of the best books ever. And that really helped me. It gave me so many fun ideas too, to how to like love on our crew and our team, because they work so hard. They're in the venue so early and they're last ones out of the venue. So it's just like finding ways to love on them. So I just like love kind of trying to interact with our crew every day too. And just, it feels like a locker room to me, like a sport. And so it's like, just want to have really healthy culture in our camp and in our locker room. So a lot of that is just like getting to know our guys and girls on our team and loving on them and laughing a lot. So just trying to fill my mind with the good stuff and shut the bad stuff out.
Right.
Yeah.
That's dope. I love that. So as a lot of people know, you are married to Mariah McManus. Shout out.
Yes.
You have a beautiful baby now as well. So crazy, man.
So crazy.
How did you guys meet? I want to hear that story.
Yeah. So when I first moved to LA, I was trying to find a church, and actually there's a guy, when I lived in Nashville, I was friends with a buddy, Josiah, and he had moved to LA a few years before I did. And so when I moved out there, I knew he lived in LA. So I was like, hey, what's up? And so we're hanging. He's like, dude, you should come to this spot, Mosaic. And I was like, okay. And so I went, and then I came with my buddy Mel, who actually like toured with LANY for a second. And Mel and I went, and Erwin came out, and the first thing he said, he was like, I love atheists. And I was like, oh, cool. I've never heard like a pastor say that, like from Arkansas. And I was like, oh, I like this guy. And the way he talked about all kinds of people and like the love he has for people, I just loved his perspective on life. And so I was immediately drawn to how he talked about people in the world and Jesus. And so I was like, okay. And so then I kept coming back. And then someone told me about Mariah, and they're like, so you must know Mariah really well. I'm like, how would I know Mariah? And they're like, well, she opened for Jars of Clay. I was like, what?
No
And so
way.
Jars of Clay did a few like acoustic tours that wasn't full band. And so I wasn't on those, but she did that. And so someone told me that. And then they had a thing called Welcome to Mosaic on Monday nights, if you're interested in serving and just being a part of the community. And at that time, I think that was around November. At that time, we had just made like an EP, because Les and I moved to LA, and Paul was still coming back and forth from New York modeling.
No way.
And so at that time, he was back in New York because we just finished recording. So it was like we had like a month and a half to either go home or do something else. And so Les went home. Paul was back in New York. And so I was like, it would be easy and cozy just to go back home and hang with the parents.
Right.
Rent free. But then Erwin had a talk about like calling a place your home. And a lot of it was just like stepping out into, uncomfort and uncertainty.
Right.
And like just putting yourself out there, because I'm pretty introverted.
God.
And so I remember I was going to walk up to this Welcome to Mosaic thing to meet everyone, and I almost turned around because I was so nervous.
Dang.
But I went in and I saw Mariah. And so I went up, I was like, so I heard you toured Jars of Clay. And so we got to chatting, and long story short, now we're here.
Dang.
But it was so cool, and I love talking about it because for that month and a half, I got like a really funny job called Deliv. It's kind of like same day delivery. It's kind of like Uber. Like someone would order something, and I'd go pick it up, take it to their house in LA. And so I did that for like a month and a half, and was going to Mosaic and try to like plant myself in the community and not be so introverted.
Yeah.
And I really feel like in that month and a half, God's gift to me was Mariah.
Oh,
He's like, thanks for sticking around. Here's your wife. Here's your favorite person in the world. So I met her then. And yeah, now we've been married 8 years and have a almost 3-year-old.
that is so crazy.
That's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
obviously the whole family is super involved.
Oh my gosh. They're incredible.
in the church. So that, I mean, that's beautiful. How impactful has that been?
Oh,
Like to you as an individual? Like
Yeah,
being
'cause
involved
that,
in
I
the
mean, that
church?
guy who you saw first when
Yeah.
you came to LA, and
my
you were
gosh.
like, "Whoa, I love how this guy communicates." Is now your father?
I mean, when
you know what
I had the thought of that, like, oh, so that could be my father-in-law. I was so scared. I'm like, and at that time, just making $0, I had this mustache that like went down to my neck.
Dang.
I just looked disgusting. Not really, but
He was
I looked
full Bentonville.
I was so Bentonville, and but that is just the most beautiful family in the world, and just like I was so scared because I'm like, okay, so this is a family of the greatest communicators I've ever heard in my life,
Right.
And then there's me, but they are just the warmest, kindest, most generous people in the world, and so I couldn't be luckier to have that as my in-laws.
Bro, it's so insane.
I love them
just
a
did
lot.
one with Aaron.
What's that?
We had a podcast with Aaron. Like,
yes.
At the end of last year, and
Handsome fella right there.
oh, brother, handsome guy,
Yes.
dude. Interestingly enough, I met him like I randomly came out to LA and for Mosaic Conference 2019. So when it was in like that theater, I think I don't know if you were there, but that's when I met
Yeah,
him.
Ace Theater,
Yes, Ace Theater.
Ace Hotel Theater.
And I ended up like I just came to attend and like just chill, and I ended up like serving on like the
cool.
greeter team or something.
That's funny.
Bro.
They saw those
Did you get
pearly
recruited?
whites.
I got recruited somehow, and then I ended up at like a game night at Carlos's house.
That's how you met. I
Yes.
was about to say that's how
That's
you met
how
Carlos.
Yes,
Legend.
that's
I
how
met Carlos
him.
in Nashville. And,
Okay.
And I'm mad Puerto Rican. And he's
Let's go.
yeah. So
Oh,
when
yeah.
You guys have a different kind of Spanish.
Papi, claro. Es que, being Puerto Rican, we'll talk about this later because I can go on.
Oh yeah, dude, it's fine,
We
bro.
literally talked like last week.
But
Oh,
what
that's
a
amazing.
what a beautiful guy, man.
Beautiful
Yeah.
family too. Him and Andres,
Oh yeah, bro.
those Latinos. And
Anyway.
it down.
I met Aaron back then, but the podcast was the first time I've like actually sat down and like had a convo with him. And bro, what a great guy, man.
Yeah, they're unbelievable, and I've learned so much from them too. One of the biggest things is how to handle conflict, because like I'm more of like a before I met them, more maybe like bottle it in,
Yeah.
and then maybe it comes out in 10 years and explodes.
Right.
But I
Ruined everything in my life.
I love I think they fight so well.
Yeah.
And it's quick, and then they're done.
Yes.
And then they don't hold resentment.
Right.
And so I learned a lot from them about how to like when there's something going on, let's go ahead and get in there and
Right.
address it. Because like as a band, like in growing, you have speed bumps and stuff, and if like we don't address them, it's just gonna like hold resentment or something and build in there.
Right.
And so I feel like Paul and I have learned how to do that well too, because of how much I've learned from them.
Dang.
Especially Ryan, Aaron, his brother and sister, they do
That's
that.
what I was about to say.
They do that
He
so
talked
well,
about that on
and they
the
have
episode.
like such a strong relationship. And so yeah, love that.
That's
family.
amazing, dude.
Okay.
This garbage truck is gonna be awesome for audio, right?
Bro's going nuts.
It's gonna
go.
be so
He's
good.
really passionate. Yo, shout out.
So
Waste
raw.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome though. That's so cool. And how often does like Mariah get to come out and like hang with y'all on tour?
Yeah, she'll hop out here and there. Let's see here. And this tour with US is nice because I try and hop home as much as I can as well.
Okay.
Like just a one day off going home is huge.
Right.
It just like fills my tank for sure.
Wow.
And then we try to incorporate like a mid-tour break. It's
Okay.
like 3 or 4 days. So we had that. And then playing around LA, you're just home a lot. So I've been able to come home a lot and hang out with Mariah and Gino. And they're going to come out in about a week and do like the last week with us. So
Oh,
Gino will
beautiful.
be on the bus.
Oh,
She's like
yeah.
she's like our little mascot.
dude.
We just played LA at the Forum, which was so fun. And Gino came to sound check and just was owning
Was
it.
she loving it?
owning it.
Is she gonna be musical? You think she's got to be?
We'll
right?
see. It's going to be in her blood, but
Yeah,
we're curious
it's
what she's going
definitely in her genetics.
We're curious what she's going to be into. We signed her up for soccer. We're just like, I wonder if she's going to be into this.
Right.
And super not. I don't even know if she touched the ball with her feet.
No
ever.
way.
She just like picked it up and thought it was ice cream.
Dang.
So
Gotta eat that.
but she kind of likes basketball, which is precious.
Really?
She's not like
Interesting.
basketball. Okay.
Okay.
But,
Nice.
but yeah,
so
they're going to
good.
come out, and it's always a wild ride when she's out on the road. You know?
I bet.
Isn't it kind of crazy to think that you're literally looking at a little piece of yourself?
It's crazy.
Like the personalities like starts to develop around that age, and you're like,
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, you're becoming a little human.
It's funny too when I do something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm Juno, and she's a 3-year-old. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I see it now. So yeah, it's crazy just that we see that she's us.
Right.
Yeah.
It's wild.
God.
Bro, I want to ask you about something that I really admired the way you talked about this earlier, but there is a real thing navigating being a follower of Jesus in a space that is more mainstream in industry, right? What is that like for you? I mean, it's probably complex and whatever. It's day at a time, but
Yeah.
what has been an anchor for you?
Yeah, I think it's just how much I love Jesus and believe in him and
Yeah.
who he is. And so that's never really rocked for me because I know, I still have questions and things, but I've never questioned his greatness and his love. Yeah. And so that's always been firm. And so I actually love the opportunity that I had to do it without any fear. I'm like, ooh, I'm excited to step into this space and be in a band and just be a guy that loves Jesus. And that's not going to change one bit.
Right.
And just get to learn from all sorts of people that don't love Jesus, that do. And so it's just been a really fun ride because I love getting around people that are so different than me.
Yeah.
Right.
And also just learning how to have conversations about Jesus with other people and never forcing it. Like a lot like that, a guy that was an atheist, my favorite thing to do with him was just watch videos of hardcore bands. I was like,
That's what he's into.
he's into it. And so I was like, I just love this and I love him. And so it's just never forcing that on someone, just meeting them and immediately open the Bible and tell them a verse. I was like, that's not going to resonate with that guy. I know what's going to resonate with him is just loving on him, laughing, watching hardcore videos.
Right.
And so just learning about how to navigate different kind of people and what makes them tick, start there. And so that's been really fun. And it's cool too, because one of my best buds, Josh, is my drum tech. And so he's a guy we can talk to a lot about faith and what's going on. And he's married too, and just holding each other accountable and checking in on our wives. How can we do something special for our wives today? Let's get them some flowers. And so having that, and we just recently started a Bible study where people that tour and stuff, that travel a lot for Mosaic, that Pastor Joe Smith, I'm sure you've met Joe.
Yes.
Yeah, Joe and my buddy Jake Scott, they started, and we do that on Wednesdays. And so it's cool to have that out here as well and just engage in that side of it, and then come to the venue with someone who has no interest in Jesus, but I've got a lot of interest in them. Because that's how I feel like Jesus is. I feel like he just loved everyone and was really interested in everyone. So that's my post right there.
Yeah. That's amazing.
One thing you said that I would love to hone in on is the fact you said, I'm not afraid to go out into those spaces. And I think that for such a long time, the church has become a country club. And I heard this saying once, it really touched my heart and it challenged me. We've turned the windows in churches into mirrors, and we're only worried about ourselves, right? And Jesus was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
But it was also because he didn't doubt the level of infilling of the Spirit that he had. And if Jesus really overcomes the world, and I believe who he says that he is, I can go into a space that once used to have reign over me, and now I have reign over it, and I'm not subject to that environment.
Yeah.
But now that environment is subject to the love that is within me. It's it'll challenge whether or not you really believe, is the one who's greater in me really greater than the one who's in the world? And didn't he really come for the world?
Yeah.
Right? And I think that when you don't navigate in fear is when you have truly entered into the sonship of God.
Wow.
Jesus has made me
This guy, huh?
a son.
Yeah.
You know?
How old are you?
Are you the cops?
That's profound. You're a little youngster, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm 23.
Oh my gosh.
It is.
But it's
awesome.
real, bro. It's real. And I've been on both sides. I know what it's like to navigate in fear in spaces. And then I realize the fear that I'm navigating in isn't even coming from the Lord. I've realized it's coming from a lack of surrender in me. I know that I haven't surrendered this stuff to him. So how am I ever supposed to be able to overcome it if I'm still holding on to it?
Yeah.
You know, it's like a consistent
right.
you know, letting go of yourself and putting yourself into the Lord's hands. But that's extremely admirable, bro. And we're big on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Matt, we're big on that because all of our friends so many of our friends are unsaved.
Yeah.
One of the things that really challenged me was when one of my big bros in life was just like, yo, like, what does your friends look like right now? And I was like, bro, I got a great community, like, yada, yada, yada. I was speaking Christianese. And he was just like, you know, Jesus, the nickname was friend of sinners, right? Like, if you haven't earned that title by the time you die, maybe we didn't do what we came to, you know, was a part of the Great Commission. I think it completely shifted my perspective. And when you spend time with people, even the way you're describing it is like you're gaining compassion for them.
Yeah.
Like, time you spend with people isn't wasted. It's biblical. Like, Jesus spends time in Capernaum, and it says that he grew in compassion for the people in that town, and he really hurt them to leave. So it's like, how much more if, like, you're spending time with the team on tour, the production guys and the loading crew? It's like, oh, you'll end up finding compassion for people and things you didn't even know you had.
Yeah. I mean, and I look at those people like I look at Jesus in awe. Because it's like they have so much to offer as a human being, and it's like so beautiful. So I just kind of wide-eyed and learn. I'm just because it's just amazing how different every single person is, and like how beautiful every soul is out there. So it's just fun leaning into every kind of person.
Yeah, and
beautifully said. That was amazing.
It was amazing.
Thank you.
That? Come on. I think it's so crazy even to think about too, like who your father-in-law and who your family is, because not everybody has that mindset. You know what I mean? And like Nate was saying, sometimes even in the church, like, and what a cool, like, coming alongside of that is, because it feels like you guys are in the same headspace as far as that goes of reaching the lost and looking at people as human beings, and like everyone has a soul. I feel like that's just even like God ordained in itself of like, you're definitely like walking in the path of like God set you on this path for LANY and doing it with Paul, and like you guys have a mission and a vision, and then like bringing alongside this like amazing family and your wife and like all that stuff who think in the same way. It's like, so I don't know, I'm just seeing like the path, like, and it's so like cool and really, really dope.
Thank you. Yeah,
for sure. I don't even know what other question we got. I just got so fired up right there, dude. That was amazing. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I want to ask a couple of other questions. One thing I wanted to know before we wrap is like, I feel like the first maybe couple records y'all had, you guys were like super, you know, like niche crowd. And then all of a sudden, like this bridge came over to like the Christians. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know if you guys feel that or not, but from the outside, it was like, because I didn't know about y'all probably until Malibu Nights.
Okay.
And that seemed like when the bridge happened over to the Christian world. And Nate can speak into this more too, because he went to Liberty University.
I survived Liberty.
Let's go.
But like there was this like bridge, I swear.
Bro,
and all
what?
of a sudden it was just like Christians everywhere were just obsessed with LANY. And I don't know if y'all felt that or not, but like,
Not really.
Bro,
dude, it was like,
that's how I found out about y'all.
yeah.
A bunch of rich white kids at Liberty University.
That is funny.
Because I'm very much like a kind of a little ghetto kid a Puerto Rican kid from the Northeast. And so I was like, I grew up listening to Spanish music, yada, 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 whatever. I get to Liberty and everyone's like, Malibu Nights. And I was like, yo,
I think that might have been the one that did it. And I don't even,
I remember, because it was like, I mean, y'all was popping. I remember it was like, that's how I found you guys, Coin, Colony House, all these like indie bands that I was just like, I don't know what this is, but I think I'm rocking with it. Like,
It's amazing.
but
and too, even like I was in Miami at the time at a church, and you even like worked your way into like their pre-service playlist, like in church.
Yes.
you know,
We do love Richard Dontree's.
Yes.
Rich and DC are the best.
literal best. It's Rich's
Shout out.
birthday today.
Shout out Rich, happy birthday, man.
Love them.
But yeah, even like we're ushering people into the service, and we got LANY bumping on the speakers. So,
But you know what? That's how I know you guys really write, because you guys can write music for everything, like any setting, which is very impressive.
yeah,
Communication like that is, especially in songwriting, if you can make a song for every ear, you're timeless.
And that's one of the things I love about Erwin and Mariah, especially. You can break something so complex down into the simplest words like a third grader can totally understand. And we approach writing like that a little bit too. It's just like, how can this resonate globally with universally with everyone? Because bands like Coldplay and U2, they totally do that.
right.
And so I feel like, because like early on, we were defined by our limitations, which was like we had a synth, like a drum pad, and that was about it.
Yeah.
And so our earlier stuff was like a little more indie sounding.
Yeah.
So Malibu Nights was like our first record. We were with another producer in a studio. And so I feel like a lot of the influence of like the Coldplay and U2 came out in our playing and like live drums, and Paul's like chord phrasings, maybe a lot similar to Chris Martin. And some of those like Malibu Nights, I'm sure that's got like a little kind of church progression to it.
I think that might be a thing too. And
Like sonically, it's
sonically, you can listen to it and be like, yo, it's accessible to the ear.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I could do this.
Yeah.
But it's also like that little church background too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got that church.
I'm telling you, the best people to do it are all church kids.
Oh yeah.
Go look at every one of your artists' favorite bands. I promise.
Ooh, I got to say too, Elevation. What's the youth one?
Rhythm. Yes.
Oh my, I don't know who's playing drums on those records, but
Otis. Shout out Otis.
Shout out
man.
Otis.
that guy is nasty.
He's insane, right?
Nasty.
He's Canadian.
Homie.
From, Toronto.
Yo, you're blessed, fam.
I love it. Like I have a buddy he'll like send me some of the songs. Like, dude, check out this guy. I'm
Bro,
like, this is
he's insane.
so. Whoever is producing and playing on those records, you guys got some amazing
Josh,
people.
bro, you gotta
show
come
him.
out.
You gotta
and
show him.
You would love them. Josh
Dude.
is the man. Josh, Otis, the whole crew.
So good.
And it's so I love the way we make music because it's fun.
So
it feels
fun.
childlike. There's no like consequences. There's no responsibilities. It's like, let's just go have fun with our
It's awesome.
friends.
It sounds like it. Sounds like you're having fun.
Yeah, that's a huge compliment.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's love for sure.
I got to bust that out today, actually.
Yes, bro. We just got off the phone with HB too before this.
Oh
Right.
my god.
H is like my brother, man.
Oh, another legend.
Another legend.
I love
bro.
him. We just saw him in Atlanta.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was actually my first time like really hanging out with him. Loveliest guy.
dude.
Oh, dude.
Coolest
Such
guy.
a kind soul.
Yes.
So kind.
Yeah.
I could see you two getting along really well.
Love
Oh
him.
yeah.
I just saw his like he got a new drum set. I like watched his video of him
Yeah.
unpacking it.
Oh yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
Honestly, it
so
sounded
overjoyed.
really good, and he hadn't even tuned it yet.
Yeah, he's so
Dang.
good. I love that guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
he met me when I was a kid. He looked out for me when I was young.
Oh, that's awesome.
He did I love him a lot.
That's so cool.
Good man. All right, last two questions before we let you out of here. Where do you feel like you draw your inspiration from?
Definitely just everyday life. And a lot of times not music.
Really?
Like a lot of times, I don't know if you guys have heard this new podcast that LeBron James and JJ Redick have.
No.
I think there's only 2 episodes. I forget what it's called, Mind the Game or something.
Mind the
Yes.
Game.
Doesn't.
But I listened to their first podcast and just hearing them talk and like talk about LeBron, someone who I love. He was talking about like things he looks for in players, and it's like people that have the love of the game, but also have like a history of the game. And I just loved the way he talked about basketball.
Dang.
And that really inspired me that day. So it's just like someone like LeBron's really inspired me to play drums that night just from his
Dang.
field in basketball. Watching TV shows and movies is a big thing. A good conversation that day, a good meal.
Right.
Like I just like get really fired up about anything.
That's amazing.
But also
sick.
like we're talking about sports, I treat a little bit like that too, where I'd like to watch film.
Ooh.
But my film isn't like watching a defense or something. It's just like watching live concerts or something like
Really?
that. And it depends on the city I'm in too. Like, I wonder what band's from Indianapolis. I have no idea. But I'll have to like do some research and see who's from Indianapolis. But I like to watch live videos of bands from the city we're playing in and just like see what I take from it that applies to like what we play that night. So I'm just like very romantic about the process.
Wow.
Hey, Michael
That's
Jackson's from Gary, Indiana. I don't know how far that is from here.
Who is?
Michael Jackson.
Oh, that's right.
We just figured that out. Our friend told us yesterday.
Yeah.
Gary, Indiana.
Gary.
How far is that from here, Erica? 3 hours.
3 hours.
You know, I think
Little bit.
I know someone from Gary, Indiana.
Really?
I think one of the Jars guys, his dad was from Gary, Indiana. Let's go,
Dang.
Gary.
Let's go, Gary.
Look at that. Yo, shout out Michael Jackson, man.
Yeah, for real. Okay, last thing before. What? Do you have anything to plug? Anything you guys got coming up? Anything you
Oh,
want to
man.
link in the description type beat? You know what I mean?
Sir, yeah, we got our record, A Beautiful Blur, that's out now. And we're on
cop.
tour. This year, we're kind of covering the globe. We do this. We do Latin America, Asia. Forget where else. Maybe someplace I'm not supposed to say just yet.
Yeah.
But also Mariah and Mosaic MSC are doing some of the coolest stuff ever. And we also need to encourage Mariah to put out her music under Raya. It's the
Yes,
sickest
under
thing ever.
Raya. Yes.
Which also I love. One time went to View and walked in, and Rich and Dontry, I love them. They're just absolutely blaring Mariah's songs for
No
her Raya
way.
stuff.
That's dope.
And
That's
so
legendary.
I'm just excited for her, and I hope she has the hugest year ever.
Yes.
And then Juno, our daughter, she's the cutest,
She's the cutest ever.
and she's going to come out on the road, and it's going to be insane.
Let's go.
Love that, man.
That's
Can't wait.
beautiful, man. Well, thank you so much again. This has been so fun, bro.
Thank you. Thank
Really
you.
appreciate you
Thanks for
coming and
making the
kicking it.
trip.
Oh, bro. Of course,
Always.
man.
So
This
excited
light.
from Puerto Rico.
Papi, claro que sí.
Oh.
I was in the six, so I had to do the dash.